The various concepts, archetypes and premises within the mind and intelligence in the material world are only an inverted or imperfect reflection of the original spiritual pastimes manifested by Krishna and his associates in the various planets from Goloka to the peripheral Vaikuntha planets. The original pastimes performed by Krishna in Vraja are precisely a mixture of psychological ideals and attractive elements whose essence and dynamics are so attractive that it is presented in the material world as a repeated archetypal story containing the same basic features and contrasts as the incidents and premises of Krishna's pastimes. His childhood. Krishna is all-attractive, and therefore his life from his early years to his later pastimes in Mathura and Dvarak contains many archetypal elements that are found in all dimensions and levels of being to the extent that the environment can perceive them, absorb them, and go into their very nature. They are all attractive and internally connected with the soul even in its conditioned state. Through the permutation of material optics, originally spiritual archetypes form various fictional stories of this world that are inspired by the human subconscious and inner potencies. One of Krishna's exceptional qualities, which he exhibits even in his early childhood, is that he can destroy any enemy and any threat with a single blow. Regardless of whether his enemy is a classic demon, a demon king, or the most powerful being in existence. Krishna is the origin and refuge of everything. All power, majesty, and opulence. Therefore, his power has no limit or end. A single strike is the end of any demon who would stand in Krishna's way or threaten his companions. But the joke and the point of his power is that killing these demons or so-called intrepid adversaries and great demons is not considered by Krishna as something world-shattering or extraordinary, but a minor distraction in the various pastimes that he shares with his friends. It is the type of entertainment that shows indifference to the pride of demons who seek to build their name, fame, and influence under the impression that no one can match them. For Krishna, even the most powerful demons and mystics who control almost invincible power are just a minor distraction at a Sunday picnic. He even shows them mercy in a way and gives them the opportunity to correct or change, as in the case of the many-headed serpent Kaliya, whom Krishna defeated by constantly dancing and jumping on its heads until Kaliya almost died of exhaustion. The unlimited power shown by Krishna in killing the demons is not only an indication that he is fearless in this regard, but also that the so-called demonic power or the various scales of demonic power are illusory or insignificant compared to the infinite source of this power. By Krishna himself. He, as the refuge of all power and energies, is even the refuge of his greatest opponents. He is the role model, refuge, and protector for the Dharma of all existence. An example is given that one day the moon may stand still or the sun cease to shine, but Krishna never breaks his promise or goes astray because he is the ultimate refuge of all and remains whole and absolute in his action. There is no end to his transcendental qualities. That's why no one can agree exactly and guess who Krishna actually is. Demons see him as a great threat, scholars as absolute truth, and his companions as a good friend. But who Krishna really is in his depth and where his infinite qualities extend are a mystery, and a mystery even to his closest associates. The dissolute pastimes of his childhood, which do not feel threatened even by the biggest demons and enemies who could threaten Krishna or his friends, rest in part precisely on this main point. Krishna in Goloka is a simple cowherd, a country boy in the middle of a rural country surrounded by his friends, yet he still possesses infinite transcendental qualities that have no end. This contrast between his simple life and the activities of a simple herdsman, who at the same time is secretly the ultimate resting place and origin of all reality, the person who can knock down any demon with a single blow, is one of several premises and spiritual archetypes that are deeply embedded in every soul and are therefore naturally attractive. But the rasa that arises from this must go through listening and personal affection, which comes from service and devotion, which is the very beginning of emotion and our attachment to him. The spiritual eye means to increase awareness of these principles in the surrounding world, understanding that the various attractive premises and dynamics that appear in the stories as material are in reality only a perverted reversal of the original spiritual archetypes that are eternally present in Krishna. By listening to Krishna's stories, we can recognize some aspects of reality earlier, and some are more veiled, or their complexity is incomprehensible and confusing to us. But in the end, they are all just an inverted image of the original spiritual reality, which in the material lens of conditioning appears as separate from Krishna. The essence and attraction of each feature in reality is ultimately entirely dependent on Krishna and his inner potency. The more this potency is purified by the original Krishna consciousness, the more attractive it becomes, because the object of affection becomes Krishna directly and not his external manifestation or fictitious symbol in the extended false ego. In this way, a person can learn to perceive Krishna indirectly in an ever larger scope of reality, which will also improve his understanding of Krishna's direct and concrete pastimes, which are very strongly transcendentally potent and attractive. Even so much so that thanks to them we begin to see Krishna indirectly in more things and archetypal components around us as well.